This week, it came from GenX. We discuss stupid criminals in the news.
Also, we'll talk about Dan Owner finally selling the Washington Commanders. Is he the worst owner in the NFL, or can you think of others? Also, Three Dog Night in the news. Remember them? Is that the funniest band name you ever heard? Also, Victoria Beckham, considered one of the most beautiful women in music. I don't think so. We rate some of the most gorgeous women in rock, some of the most overrated. All right, Victoria Beckham, considered one of the most beautiful women in music. I don't think so. We'll rate some of the most beautiful women in music and some of the most overrated.
And in pop culture this week, longtime Mad Magazine artist Al Jaffe passes away. We talk about him and our memories of Mad Magazine growing up. The Bud Light controversial ad campaign. What do you think about all the craziness in social media? A new Max streaming service coming out. Do we need another one? We discuss. And this week in pop culture history, Danica Patrick in 2008 becomes the first woman win an Indy race. All this and much more Gen X talk, memories, rants, probably some insults. Stay with us, and here we go.
Long live the Empire.
Here we go.
This is an It Came From GenX video.
Hey everybody, welcome to It Came From GenX. I am Keith Porter, looking at two lovely gents on my screen by the name of Michael Skinner and Brian Fisher. I know him as Skinbone and Fish, and we are It Came From GenX, happy to bring to you light through the eyes of GenXers. We talk about sports, music, world news, and pop culture. And we hope to make you laugh, hope to make you think, and maybe even tick a couple of you off. I don't know, whatever. We just want some emotions out of you. But take a wild ride with us on this show of good friends who have been together, man, over 30, 35 years. We've elementary, some of us, junior high, high school, and we are Gen Xers happy to be together on this wild ride. So let's say hello to my man, Mr. Michael Skinner. What's up, Skimbo?
Hey, how's everybody out there today?
Doing good,
week,
brother.
busy week, busy weekend, trying to get the backyard ready for summer.
Yeah.
Paying for it today. I feel like a Gen Xer today after all the work I put in this weekend. But between that and me and Miss Marcy trying to figure out what the new norm is with mom-in-law, things are good. Glad to be here tonight.
Yeah, glad to have you here. And our prayers are staying with Mama Dee for speedy recovery. And I know that's heavy on your heart. What's going on, Fish? How you doing, baby?
Doing well, brother. Nice weekend, some good quality time with Allie. Nice dinners, winery, stuff like that. And hung out with the Idiots crew last evening. I'll talk about that a little bit as well. So
yeah, I thought I saw a picture of you guys together.
Yeah, so just nice weekend, enjoying the nice weather here in Northeast Ohio. Not this week, but last week, and the weekend was mostly pretty nice. So yeah, definitely spring fever is full tilt.
Okay, well, good. I got sick in the middle of the week, which kind of threw me off for a little bit, and then I had a funeral on Friday, which was very difficult. But I ended up rehearsing with Rock Generation all evening. Saturday I took it slow, and Sunday was a wonderful day. We had a great church service, and after that I went to the gym, got a great workout in, and went out and took care of some things. So hopefully get a lot more done this week, because I got a lot more to do. Got some announcements coming up we'll hit at the end of the show. Other than that, Fish, tell them where they can find the show.
All right. You might be listening to us on demand where we listen to podcasts. We can be found on all major podcast platforms, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Verbal, and many more. Just simply pull up the It Came From GenX podcast, give us a follow or a subscribe. And as we publish 2 episodes weekly, it will pop into your feed free of charge. You might be watching us on our YouTube channel at It Came From GenX. Full episodes and video segments are there, or the Boss Code Media TV network. We have our own channel there as well. Find them on your portable device or your smart TV. Download, subscribe. We're on there with other creative content. All links to social media and the show can be found in two main places. Our Linktree page. Simply Google Linktree. It came from GenX. Links to episodes where you can listen to us, all that good stuff, and our website. It came from genx.wordpress.com. All show information's there. Links to episodes, videos, bios, ways to sponsor the show, our merch store, and all kinds of good stuff there on the website. If you go to one place, go there. If you do anything at all, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, rate, review on Apple Podcasts. It helps others find us and helps us grow a little bit. And we appreciate your support. Thank you.
Yes, we do. And we are exclusively on the Boss Code Media Network, as Fish mentioned. So we want to say big love to Des, the Reason, rapper extraordinaire, Mogul on his way, man. Just doing great things. Mogul, I could say, doing great things in the business world. And also, we want to say big love to our podcast producer, the son of our own Michael Skinner, Mr. Michael Skinner Jr., a.k.a. The Boss, a.k.a. Junior. We love you, brother, and thank you for your help. And big love to Fisher, man, for the unbelievable video work that he does on this show, too, man. I always appreciate it. Every time I watch the show and I see all the little things and little details and sound effects, man, I just go, wow. I really appreciate it, Fish. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you, brother. You're welcome.
All right, guys, let's get some stuff cracking. Little bit of tension in our city. We're not going to get too much into it right now. We're going to keep things light. So Skinner is going to bring us world news, maybe a touch of local news. We will see. Take it away, baby.
Yeah, there locally some big stuff going on. Some will say good, some will say bad, some will say indifferent. But
yeah, and Skinner, I would say too, even though this is local, I think the story is kind of nationwide right now.
It is nationwide. Yeah. And if those that we're talking about the I'm sorry, Jalen Walker, it's his name. Today came down that no charges are going to be filed against the police officers involved in that from last year. It's been almost a year, which is amazing that it's taken this long for something to get going on this. I remember
we're in Akron, Ohio, by the way, everybody. Yeah, sorry.
Yes, in Akron, Ohio. And this comes on the heels of the mass shooting at the bank down in Tennessee a couple of weeks ago. What was that, in North Carolina? There was a mass shooting. There, some people died, and then there's that senseless 16-year-old birthday party down in Alabama where people were killed and several were hurt. All this crap going on, and the only thing I can ask is, well, what good is any of this doing? What's this doing for anybody? So I want to go something kind of silly, something kind of different, and we're going to go to Newport News, Virginia. This was last month. A 37 and 43-year-old inmates decided to use a toothbrush armed with some metal and found their way out of their jail cell, scaled the wall, and they looked at each other and must have said, I'm hungry, let's go to IHOP. Guess where they ended up being 2 hours later?
Back in jail.
Right back in freaking jail. Not the same jail cell that they had called home for so long, but they were right back in jail. Now,
this wasn't a hard one to figure out.
Now, here's this. These gentlemen, one man who lives in Hampton, Virginia, have been in custody on charges including contempt of court and probation violations. Probably something simple, may have been there a week or two, maybe a month. Another is a Gloucester resident, was being held on charges including credit card fraud, forgery, grand larceny, and probation. So he probably had a little bit more time than the other. But now these two morons are going to be sitting in jail for at least a year for each charge that is pending on their escape. So my first question is, was that damn breakfast worth every bit of the time that they spent digging that hole? And two, what are they going to do? They're going to be called the dumbasses in the penitentiary now for the next at least a year. Now, have you guys heard anything more moronic than this? Now, this happens all the time.
The stomach was. I mean,
somebody really wanted some maple syrup, I guess. It wasn't good enough.
I am not going to knock these dudes. You know, I'm not going to knock somebody who's been locked up, eating that Nutriloaf or whatever that crap is they give you. Just dying for some good food, man. I know. Listen, I was on my way home today. I have a salmon in the refrigerator that was going to be for dinner, salmon and vegetables. I'm sitting at a light staring at Swenson's. I tried to go past it and I couldn't.
I got you.
We had Swenson's for dinner. You know why? Because I was hungry. I hadn't ate all day. Now, if I had been on my regular diet eating, okay, we're having salmon for dinner. But because I was so hungry, that Swenson's was calling me. I can't fault these guys, man. I can't imagine how they were feeling and thinking about, God, how good would IHOP be? I'm not going to knock them, man.
Okay, but if you got your last meal, you're really going to go to IHOP?
I don't think they thought it was going to be their last meal, man. I mean, I don't know, bro. I can't say anything. I ain't faulting them.
Fish, have you heard of any dumber thing that you've heard lately than this right now? Again, I'm trying to make light of all this because of what's going on in the country right now. So this is very comical, and if we're offending anybody, I apologize. But this is comical as hell to me, truthfully.
Well, it's a close second to some of Keith's dating app adventures.
I mean, pretty close. Very close.
Yeah, it's the International House of Penitentiary or something like that. I don't know, something like that. There's something there. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, at least get it to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay,
that's the whole sense of the word on the run.
Yeah.
Right?
Now, see, leave it to fish to make so much sense out of this. Get it to go.
Yeah.
You're sitting down and
maybe it's on the real
Uber Eats or something. You know, you can do that too.
How'd they pay for it? That's another thing.
That's another good question.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Wow.
Where'd they get the damn money to pay for it?
Maybe they did. Maybe that's how they got caught. I don't know. But they're probably sitting there in their uniforms, I guess.
Right. Unless you're a master criminal, most criminals are not known for their smarts. That's why they're criminals.
Yeah.
There's been some dumb stuff. There's a very dear friend of mine, a very prominent bass player in Akron by the name of Gerard Dominic. Plays in a lot of very popular bands, and he had his bass guitar stolen downtown Akron out of his van. Very expensive bass. A couple of weeks later, he was at the pawn shop here in North Hill, and while he's standing there, the guy comes in and tries to sell it.
Oh man.
Yeah, so he I don't know how, if he slipped a note or whatever, but he told the guy, and the guy kind of the clerk, kind of stalled him, and they called the cops, and the guy got caught. This actually was featured on America's Dumbest Criminals. It was actually on because surveillance cameras saw the whole thing. Yeah, so I mean, they're criminals, man. Some of them are really smart, some are really dumb, but.
So real quick, to finish this up, I want to say, prayers to Jalen Walker's family, friends, anybody that's involved with that family as to what's going on. And if I can say one thing to these people out there, if you're in downtown Akron right now and you decide you want to go and loot or destroy somebody else's property and say that you're protesting, you're part of the problem. You're not
part of the problem.
You are not the answer. So please go home, be adults, and most importantly, be a human being. Yeah. That's all I got to say. Thanks, fellas.
Yeah, thank you, brother. And as soon as that verdict came today, or I shouldn't say verdict, but my sister and I grabbed hands and prayed for peace. Nobody do nothing stupid. Nobody destroy anybody's property. I understand the anger. I understand both sides, and there are definitely both sides. There is not one side.
Right.
You know, as people, as young people, as black people, as whatever you want to say, we got to do better. We got to do better, and you got to quit running from the cops. I get all that stuff. But on the other side, don't pee in my face and tell me it's rain. It don't take 90 bullets to bring down one person. I don't want to hear that crap. I don't want to hear that crap, especially when your white counterparts get tased, get wounded. And I've got countless videos of even wrestling with police. They're wrestling, fighting with them. But it just seems when you're black, you automatically get a hail of bullets that is not necessary. You can't tell me you took that many bullets to bring that guy down. Can't tell me that. That's ridiculous.
Nope. You can't.
And they were all carrying tasers. I don't understand it. It saved my life. So we pray for peace. No, like, don't do anything stupid. We got to find better ways, man. Better ways. All right. Okay. Thank you for that story, Skinner. Listen, I hope that was some good IHOP.
I hope so too.
And I hope they had the strawberry syrup there too, because that's really the best on the pancakes, in my opinion. But man, you know, the story would have made sense if they said, you know, they went home because they missed their mama's cooking or something like that, though. So IHOP, ain't wrong with IHOP, but I don't know, man. Definitely need to work out a better plan next time. So. And another thing too, I bet they don't get another toothbrush.
Yes, they're gonna get some toothpaste. This is their toothbrush from now on.
Yeah, it won't be International House on Parole either.
No.
Probably not. Yep.
Man, a pancake that costs you everything. Wow. All right.
There's
Okay,
something
guys.
there. There's a slogan in there somewhere.
There's somewhere in there. I got to work it out. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll shop some stuff later.
Before it was parole violations why they're in there. Now they're going to say, well, I got 2 years to life because of pancakes.
Yeah, well, if IHOP has any sense, they'll use this to their advantage.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, our food is so good, you'll break out of prison for it or something like that.
Yeah, there you go. New tagline.
Yeah.
We sentenced you to a great breakfast.
Yes.
Something like that.
Freaking morons. Wow. International House of the Penitentiary.
Yep.
You should approach them for sponsoring for your pastor bachelor.
Yeah, that's a good you're on the road, Fish.
That's right. Cage in the cage. We got a lot of ideas cooking on this show.
You got to keep this up quiet, man, and start, getting something done here.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. Let's get on some sports and music. Okay, so sports has just been a really, really, really weird day. Jalen Hurts, man. I tell you, this is what you call a success story in sports, because I was rooting for this guy for the simple fact that I saw him not only lose his starting job in college at the University of Alabama, he lost it in the middle of a national championship game. That's hard, man. That's some tough sledding right there. The whole world was watching, or the whole nation was watching anyway. And you lose your job to Tua Tagovailoa. He handled it like a champ. He was supportive. He was rooting him on. He was one of the first people to hug him when he threw the winning touchdown. And he was just really great about it. Of course, he had every right to transfer out. He went through the transfer portal after that season and went to the University of Oklahoma, where he started, had a great season, and he was drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles. And the knock on him was swift, great athlete, not an NFL quarterback, great runner, not an NFL arm, not a starting quarterback, not a franchise quarterback. And not only did he start to show amazing progress 2 years ago, but a year ago he took his team to the Super Bowl. Just outstanding story. Unfortunately, he went up against a juggernaut known as the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, which you can't fault anybody for losing to, but they did. And today he cashed in with a 5-year, $255 million contract, the richest in NFL history. That's a lot of cabbage, man. That is a lot of cabbage. So, congratulations to him. Any thoughts on that, Skinner?
I think 178,000 of that was, or 178 million of that was guaranteed funds. So
Something like that.
Good for him.
Wow.
You know, I don't want to like the guy being an Ohio State Buckeye fan because he's from that team down south.
You gotta let it go, man. He's in the pros now.
Hear me out. I want to not like him for that reason. But to see what this kid's gone through since that championship game, going to Oklahoma and proving himself, getting drafted, hearing all this chatter that he's not good enough. And what did we see last year or this past February? We saw Jalen Hurts balling, trying to win himself a Super Bowl. So I have nothing but love for this guy. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for his family. I don't think any athlete's worth $250 million.
No,
I don't care what
I
sport
totally
it
agree.
is.
This is ridiculous. Thank you for saying that.
I appreciate that the team is putting their faith in this kid, just like his teammates are, and I wish him nothing but luck.
Great. I'm glad you mentioned the team because I also give a lot of credit to the Eagles organization. Not only did they show a lot of faith in him, but they built their offense around him. They didn't question what he couldn't do. They looked at what he could do, and they built an offense to around him. Now, he has 2 stud receivers. Well, but the rest of the team is, I don't know, utilitarian, if I would
role
say.
Players.
Yeah, and they've built that offense around him and to make him successful instead of highlighting what he couldn't do well. So kudos to them.
Keith, a good team is supposed to do that. You're supposed to have a guy and you exploit their talents. You don't put a guy in a system. You don't expect a kid that doesn't have the talents in your organization or your scheme of things and expect him to succeed. You put him in place and you try to put him in
a cookie cutter mold of what you want him to be, and it never works. I believe with all my heart, Tim Tebow would have had much more success if he had been with a team that believed in him and let him do what he does. I don't care what nobody say. The kid is a winner, and I think I wish he would have had that same courtesy given to him. So, hey, Jalen Hurts, man, congratulations, Fish.
Yeah, well, you know, being a Cowboys fan, it's hard to root for the Eagles for much of anything.
Right.
But from a, you know, but on seriousness, I mean, yeah, it's just a good news story. I mean, this kid, you can't deny is a super talent, and he can run and throw the ball. I mean, there's not many guys that could do that at a high level. Certainly Mahomes, there's a few other ones that can do that. So, yeah, he had a great season. He got hurt. He fought back, and like you say, helped lead the team to the Super Bowl. And there's no reason to believe that Philadelphia won't be in the game for many years to come, as long as they can, as long as he stays healthy and they keep good people around him on the team. So,
well, 2 key things that you said. Your last comment about them being in there already. I don't know, man. They've lost like 10, maybe 12 key players. They might be in some serious trouble next year because the NFC East is on the rise up big time. Now, speaking of you being a Dallas Cowboy fan, this might even help Dallas in a smaller roundabout way. I hope Dak realizes, wait a minute, this kid comes in and takes us to a Super Bowl, you know, and I've been here how many years? I don't know. I hope it lights a fire under his butt. I think Dallas is going to be in the best position they've ever been in this upcoming season.
Yeah, this is a make or break. Make or break. They're going to have to do something drastic.
Yeah, since the early couple of years of Dak and Zeke, you know, when Zeke was at his highest game. Ever since those years, I think this is their best position. They got the wide receivers, they got the line, they got I think with Pollard handling the majority of the rock, of course, we got to see if he can handle the load. But we certainly know his running ability deserves more touches than he's been getting, and we want to take the ball out of Dak's hands a little bit more. I think Dallas is going to be in tremendous shape defensively. I think they're going to be in the top 3 next year. So we'll see. Okay.
We'll see.
All right, guys. Also in sports, the news has come down. People have asked for him to do it. They tried to force him to do it. But it has been announced that Washington Commanders owner Daniel Snyder is selling the football team. A lot of people are rejoicing. Of course, Dan Snyder. There's one of them right there. Speaking of the NFC East, and Dan Snyder's been under fire since he bought that football team. Of course, there was a lot of controversy going on about the name. And I think you take a lot of people off because he just kind of really put his foot in the ground. We're never changing the name, blah, 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 whatever. Of course, years later, they finally did. Then, of course, there was allegations of misconduct within the organization, some sexual harassment stuff, all these other different things going on with the Commanders. And they've kind of been at like stalwarts. Like they haven't done much in the NFL right now. They've just been in the state of flux. And I think it's because of Daniel Snyder. Many have called him the worst owner in the NFL. And I agree. From what I can tell, I would definitely agree with that. So Daniel Skinner, your thoughts on him first?
Hollow freaking Luya for that organization and those fans that they're going to finally get rid of that idiot. Yeah, this might be Skinner rant for the week. I don't know. We'll see how this goes. You know, I don't think they've been relevant since Theismann broke his leg.
Yeah.
I can't remember a relevant year.
No, they had some good years. Go ahead.
Mark Rippon won a Super Bowl with them in like 90 or 91 before Dallas hit
so
their
it
run.
was.
Yeah, they won.
So, but it's been 30 plus years since they've been relevant.
Yeah,
that just goes to my point. I remember the carousel of coaches that he went through back in the 90s and early 2000s with Joe Gibbs rather, and how they did him wrong. And he finally said, "Screw you, I'm going to NASCAR," and he built a team in NASCAR and become successful there. I can't pinpoint all the dumb mistakes he's made over the years, but there's been so many of them. For those football fans and those players on that team, because they do have a good, solid core of players, they just have no direction, and that starts at the top and it goes all the way down. So I'm happy for them. You know, I'm not an NFC East fan. I'm not a Washington Commander fan, but I am a football fan, and I want to see them succeed. So I wish that team well, and I hope they find somebody to come in and actually clean house and do some good there.
Yeah, there's some good players on their team. Although their quarterback, he plays with a lot of heart, and I like to see him success. Of course, their coach, him dealing with cancer and some other things, they've stood by him, and he's done a tremendous job there too. And I'm just glad to see that guy go. Thoughts on Daniel Snyder, Fish?
Yeah, just like you guys have said already. I mean, it seemed to has a reputation of creating a toxic environment to be in, like you say, harassment and all kinds of stuff you don't want to be around. Like I said, they just haven't been relevant in many, many years, in part for bad decisions, etc. Just kind of sucked a lot of the pride out of the organization, I think, with local people. So there's probably be a resurgence in many respects with some fans coming back and this and that. So I think it's a good move overall for the league and certainly for that team.
Yeah, and like I said, he was considered the worst owner in the NFL, but there are a few that are not too far behind him, and we'll talk about a few of those guys too. Obviously, let's go local here. We've heard a lot of stuff about Jimmy Haslam of the Cleveland Browns in the last few years. Now, this is kind of tricky because when you talk about worst owner, you normally talk about how they affect the football team. Jimmy Haslam has done a pretty good job with the football team. He's spending money. He's bringing guys in. But his negative reviews have been what's been going on outside of football. He had the big thing going on with his company. There were some charges levied there and some other personal stuff. Thoughts on Jimmy Haslam, Skinner?
He's not been the worst ownership for Cleveland Browns in the last 50 years, but he's certainly not been the best either. You think of Browns fans and you think everybody hates Art Modell.
Right.
Now, that man was good for football, but he was good for football at the beginning, for the NFL at the beginning.
Yes, he was. He was.
Why the
gotta
NFL
give him that.
NFL.
Right. You got to give him that.
But what he did during the 80s and early 90s with the Browns, it's unforgivable to the Browns fans. And may he rest in peace because he's no longer with us, of course. But he was probably in this area one of the hated and worst owners around.
Yeah, I won't get into all of that, but he kind of had a point too. He kind of had a point too. I don't like the way he did things, but there were some things going on with him and the mayor and city council where he kind of felt screwed over too a little bit. But yeah.
I mean, there's two sides to the story. Certainly, it's the way he did it. In the middle of the night, he picked up and left, and that
was rough, man.
Pissed off a lot of people, not just in the Cleveland area.
Yeah, that was heartbreaking, man. Just wow, boom. Thoughts on Jimmy Haslam Fish?
Not much more to say with you guys have already said, but like you say, at least to his credit, he is spending money trying to bring in talent, and now there's talk of renovating the stadium up there, like some huge renovation plans that he's talking about, helping fund and this and that and the other. So I don't know. I mean, Cleveland certainly has been more relevant lately than they have in several years. And he seems to stay out of the way. That's one thing I'll give him some credit for.
Good point.
He brings in people to run the football operations and coach. You don't hear about him stepping in and making moves and this and that and the other. Let his people handle that part of the business, and Cleveland's been
just like Jerry Jones
getting back in the game.
Yeah, just like Jerry Jones.
No. He's on
I was waiting for the laugh after
the bad owners in that respect. He can't get out of his own way.
No, okay. So Fitz, let's start with you then. One of the guys who I thought is just the worst owner in football, in my opinion, and the stuff I've read about him, Mike Brown of the Cincinnati Bengals, the thriftiest owner. There's been reports of no money being spent, the stadium having plumbing problems, all this other stuff. And another thing, too, he is just notorious for bringing in, I don't know, the best word I can say is that criminal element in the NFL. Guys who just have a shady past, Pac-Man Jones and other guys. And of course, when they get on the team, their true colors show up. Dantes Burfict, with all the cheap shots that he took over the years. And it wasn't like you didn't know. He punched the guy in college after a game, And so I just thought he was one of the shadiest owners in all of football. You like Mike Brown, Fish?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this coming from a Pittsburgh Steeler fan. Back to you.
Excuse me?
All the things you said is accurate. It's just that, I don't know, lately the Bengals seem like they're turning the corner as far as drafting Burrow and the talent around them. So they
that's fair enough. Now they've turned a corner, right? I'll give you that. But I think he's gotten old and others have taken over. So,
that could be. But certainly in the past, you're right. That was definitely something that Cincinnati was known for, and they could not win a playoff game several years until they bottomed out and had to rebuild. And won a playoff game since, I think, Boomer Esiason era, prior to recently.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. Skinner. Jerry Jones, what are your thoughts?
The best way to put it is a man that can't get out of his own freaking way.
Yeah, I think Fish
he
said it
will
best.
Go out of his way to screw up, and I don't understand it. They're called the America's team, and they've been called that for years. They're not America's team anymore because of Jerry Jones, and it all started with Don Johnson and coaching. I can go back to that. The last good team they had was Jimmy Johnson and Don Shula. During that era, and then he had Emmitt Smith and all those guys on that team.
Don Shula was never there.
No, I'm saying it was during that era with the coaching. Don Shula and Jimmy Johnson and all them. But it started there, and then it just kind of rolled from there. He had one of the best teams to ever be put on the field with Emmitt Smith and all those guys back in the mid-'90s. And what do they have to show for it after that?
Yeah.
Nothing but heartache for Dallas fans, and I hate to see that for them.
My mom always taught me to balance things. You guys heard me say that before, so I'm going to be a little bit fair with Jimmy Johnson and Dallas Cowboys. I used to argue about them being called America's team for the simple fact that the Patriots were dominating the NFL for over a decade. Dallas was coming up short for over about 20 years. So I used to argue it on that point. But I'll say this. They're still America's team in the sense that they are without question the most popular football team in America. That is not even up for debate. And so I'll give them that much. They sell more merchandise than anybody, and they got more fans in America than anybody. Jerry Jones, he's an anomaly because, yeah, he's been a problem with that team. Can't get out of his own way and all that stuff, but he's definitely loyal to his players, and he definitely wants to win, and he definitely will spend money. A lot of people will argue that if he had gotten a competent general manager, Dallas would be a lot further down the road. I believe that personally, but I will give him credit. He does love his football team, and he does love his players. Okay, let's hear it from the expert, Fish.
I give you all those things. Yeah, you're right. I mean, he definitely does want to win. Every time he opens his mouth, he talks about wanting to win. And like you say, he does spend money on players. He has been, obviously built a huge stadium down there to generate extra revenue, create a different experience.
He built a city. That's like a city down there, man. It's ridiculous.
Yep. And he has brought in extra revenue for the league and the owners and all that with his creative thinking and all that. So at the end of the day, has he been good for the league? Sure. But him thinking he was smarter than Jimmy Johnson back then.
Exactly.
Dallas has never been able to recover in 30 plus years.
Yeah.
No,
biggest mistake of his life. Biggest mistake of his life. If you had just let Jimmy alone, there's no telling what Dallas could have done. They'd have gone down. They'd have gone down as one of the greatest eras in football. The Dallas Cowboys, I agree. I feel like. Yeah, because Jimmy knew what he was doing, man. And that facility he's been down there. You play for Dallas right now, man. You're just spoiled. Their conference room looks like a freaking movie theater. It's a mini city. You get on campus, you don't have to ever go anywhere. They got their own stores, their own everything. So he loves that team. One of my favorite moments was on what's the show where they follow a team through training camp? Hard Knocks. Okay. One of the years when Dallas was featured on Hard Knocks, one of my favorite moments was when Jimmy Johnson shows up, gets out of a helicopter, and walks over to the team, and he says, "I can be anywhere in the world right now, but I chose to be here with the Dallas Cowboys." Although that was a heck of an opening statement because he could. He's a billionaire. But he's right there, hands on. I'm here for you, whatever you need. And he's always shown that with his players. Money that he shouldn't have had to spend. When Pac-Man Jones was getting in all kind of legal trouble, getting in fights at bars, Jimmy Johnson paid for security to follow this guy around. He had his own bodyguard paid for by the Dallas Cowboys, which I thought was insane. The guy's a millionaire. But that's who Jimmy Johnson is. So
Jerry Jones, you mean?
Jerry Jones, I'm sorry. You take the good with the bad. Okay, real quick, some of the other guys in the NFL I don't like. Of course, the Jets owner, he's been known, I forget his name real quick. He's really, really, really lost handle on that football team. Woody Johnson, the best thing ever happened to him was Rex Ryan. Since he let him go, they've done nothing in the NFL as well. And there's some guys in baseball and hockey I won't get into. The Mets owner, the Islanders owner, our own Dan Gilbert gets a lot of flack too with the Cavaliers. Of course, they're in the NBA playoffs, lost the first game to, which I don't understand how that happened. But he's actually on the list of worst owners. Jerry Jones is
he didn't put enough talent around LeBron at the time. His first run with LeBron, he really wore him down. Yeah,
he had an opportunity and didn't say, you know what, I'm going for it.
Yep,
I'm going for. He didn't do it, and I'll give credit to Jimmy Haslam. That contract he gave Deshaun Watson is ridiculous, but the fact that he did it, I love it. After he was turned down, he's like, "Oh no, I'm not letting you get away, Jack. If Dan Gilbert had that same mentality, Cleveland would probably have a couple of more championships right now.
Yep.
James Dolan of the New York Knicks is absolutely horrible. That team has certainly been irrelevant, even though I just mentioned they beat the Cavs in game 1. And of course, on the list is Daniel Snyder. So that's all I got for sports today, guys. Thank you for your input on that. Let's switch over to a little bit of music real quick. Oh, man, not a lot happened in the musical world today. No major announcements, at least that I saw.
Metallica's new album dropped, guys. I don't know if you listened to that yet or not.
I haven't, but I've heard some very positive reviews. One of the review I heard somebody say it's the album that should have followed the Black Album. I don't know what that means, but I look forward to checking it out.
Very good. It's a good album.
It is a very good album.
Oh, okay, cool. I don't know, man. Just haven't dug Metallica since the Black Album, and not much that they've done. So
you know what? Go back and listen to this one and the last two prior. Honestly, the last three albums, including this one, a very good album, solid.
Okay, cool. All right, guys. This day in music. Couple of quick things. Nirvana appeared at the OK Hotel in Seattle, where they played the new song "Smells Like Teen Spirit" live for the very first time. We know what that song did. Other local bands such as Mudhoney, Tad, Mother Love Bone, and Soundgarden all appeared at that club, and has now been turned into a residential property. Nirvana, to me, all the respect in the world for what they did, how they killed the metal scene, how they started a whole genre. I give them all the credit to that, but I absolutely hate that band. Is there a band
that makes two of us?
All right. Is there a band other than Nirvana that is very, 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 very popular, and you just absolutely hate them? Since you're all chined up, Skinner.
Oh, you all know where I'm going with that.
Oh, well, come on, baby, bring it.
That freaking band called Journey. Most overrated band in the history of music.
Oh, dude, you know what? Bye. Click him off, Fish.
Yeah. Of course, he just rolled over and told me I'm number one in not so many words. But yeah, no, I don't like Nirvana either, but I don't like Journey even more.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't know what it is with that band, what the lure of everybody absolutely enamored with that band, but my God, it makes my ears hurt when I listen to it.
You're about to get married. You better get some love in your heart, boy. That's the best, greatest love band there ever has been. That's the greatest band for relationships in the history of music, other than Luther Vandross.
Dude, I can't turn the radio off fast enough when I hear
Barry
that
White
coming on.
Oh,
I'll listen to Barry White all day. I won't listen to a minute of Journey.
I did not know that. Very surprising. Fish.
Yep.
Man. Wow.
Yeah.
I don't say I hate them. I just never got Rush. I know they're super popular. It's just Rush is one of those bands that's either you love them or you just don't get it. I'm one of the guys that just don't quite. I respect their talent.
Yeah.
Just never could quite get it.
Fair enough. And I'll say this: most of Rush's fans are musicians.
That's I can imagine.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair enough. They do have some great songs. I think they just have a great sound to them. But I really think mostly musicians appreciate Rush. Okay. For me, obviously, it's Nirvana. And one of the bands I just grew tired of, when they came out, I was like, okay, cool. And I thought the first album was definitely cool and different. I just hate the band Guns N' Roses. I just can't stand them anymore. And oh my God, I am just disgusted every time I see them. Of course, that all started with the concert I went to for them. And I thought it was just that concert. Of course, I read stories that this has happened multiple times. The total disrespect for fans, showing up 2 hours late, drunk, cussing out the fans, then leaving the stage, and all that silly stuff. I think Axl Rose is just toxic. I can't stand that guy.
Oh, he thought he was bigger than the music. That's his problem.
And his voice just grew to crap. But they do have some songs that I've loved over the years, but I just can't stand that band. So that's my group. And of course, I could go on and name a few others as well. But a couple other things to say in music. How about In 1971, Three Dog Night started a 6-week run at number 1 on the U.S. single charts with Joy to the World. It was the group's second U.S. number 1 and a number 24 hit in the U.K. And I was never forget when I first heard that name. I thought that was one of the funniest names I ever heard, Three Dog Night. I forgot what it actually meant. And I thought it'd be cool to talk about some of the funniest names, band names in music. So we've got some really humdingers out there. You're laughing. You got one right off the cuff there, Fish?
I was laughing at the term humdinger. I haven't heard that lately.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, GenXer, you know.
Yeah.
You humdinger, get off my lawn. I'll give you a humdinger.
Yep. All that in a bag of chips.
Yeah, you better believe it.
You know what? If you're listening out there, you can make this a drinking game as well if you wish. You listen to us every time you hear an old phrase. Just have a drink of your favorite beverage, whatever that might happen to be.
Yes, grapefruit juice, Kool-Aid, whatever you like.
That's right. Prune juice. Yep.
Okay. Any funny band names come off the cuff, Fish?
There is a lot of. I always thought Steely Dan was kind of a funny name.
That's funny.
I heard it was named after. It's like a nickname for a male appendage. There you go. So that
really,
kind of
I didn't know that.
That's what I heard. Yep, and it makes sense if you think of it that way. There's a lot out there. Oingo Boingo was another one that was funny.
Yeah, Oingo Boingo, that was funny. This one I thought was really Toad the Wet Sprocket.
Yeah.
And guys, you remember Chumbawamba? One-hit wonders.
Oh, one-hit wonders, yeah.
Yeah. There's Goo Goo Dolls.
Yeah.
Bowling for Soup.
Yep.
And of course, my favorite, Rainbow Butt Monkeys.
There you go. I know Sammy Hagar had a band
the Wet Sprocket.
I said that one.
Oh, you did say that one. Okay,
yeah, I just said that. And
this
one,
Toad the Wet Sprocket, Keith.
Well, I like that one, but I like Toad the Wet Sprocket better. What else you like, Skinner? I'm gonna give you the hint. Starts with Toad.
You know, some would say Limp Bizkit is a freaking funny name.
You know what? Limp Bizkit is actually at the top of this list. Yeah, that is funny. And listen to this one. Test Icicles.
Oh, never heard of that one.
Yeah, think about that. All right. Of course, back in the 80s, one that really got me was Kaja Goo Goo.
Yeah. Yep. Another weird one.
Yeah, I think I might be on that same list you are, but they got Puddle of Mud on that list.
Yeah, Puddle of Mud.
Early 2000s.
Yeah, yep. Same list on there.
Sammy Hagar had a band for a minute with Michael Anthony. He used to play with the band Chickenfoot. I thought that was an interesting band name.
Right, yeah.
I remember that.
Very, very, very cool. One of my new favorite bands I've been listening to lately, I thought this was just wow. This name is just Bullet for My Valentine.
Yeah.
That is good songs.
Oh my God.
Not a lot, but a few good ones.
Yeah, they got a few good ones on there. Of course, Def Leppard. We're used to hearing that name now because we grew up with it. But if you just think about it, a leopard with a horn, and that's where they got the name from. They saw a picture of a leopard with like a horn in his ear, and they came up with
It was they had the whole thing spelled out originally, and then they took out some of the vowels to get to the spelling it is today.
Yeah. So names are very, very important in the band. A lot of bands use the science when coming up with the name. Like back in the day, especially when you would go to record stores and leaf through, CDs or records, if you will. A lot of bands would try to come up with names early in the alphabet. So you would be early in that section. Or they did a lot of research and found out which was the most popular letter. It could be S and P. So they would come up with names like that, being that meaty section of where people would leaf through. I think a name is something that should stick, a name that should reflect your band. I know, one of my best bands growing up, Shadow Play, we got that name, a very specific definition that fit our band. And I'll never forget coming home one night and we got a phone call. Somebody left a message saying they knew what we are. We know that Shadow Play is something demonic and they're going to expose us and all this other crazy stuff. I was like, what?
Hey, Keith.
Nobody in my band could spell demonic. Yeah.
Here's a band that should have been for you and I to be in. It's called Above Average Weight Band.
The average white band.
No, above average weight.
That's awesome. Of course,
There's average white. Weird names here.
The average white band. That was like, wow, really? That's a crazy name too. Okay.
Weight, as in WEIGHT.
Okay. Yeah, I'm joining only for a minute though, man. Weight's coming down, baby. Okay, guys. Fun band names. Other than that, I think I had one more birthday. Or did I even do a birthday? This birthday. Nobody very important this day in music. Jan Hammer. Guys, remember him? Back in the day.
The name.
Yeah, if I told you the song, you remember. He did the theme from Miami Vice.
Okay.
Yeah, his birthday's today, born in 1948. And also birthday to Victoria Beckham of the Spice Girls, Posh Spice.
Oh, yeah, the Spice Girls.
Okay. Guys, she's considered beautiful, exotic, all these things. And I don't get it. I just doesn't do it for me. Different strokes, different folks, right? So I thought it would be fun if we could talk about some of the, and I don't like putting women up on the block, like judging them, but I'm just talking about people who are considered beautiful in the music world, and you just don't get it. Number one for me. Number one, can you guess? Madonna.
Well, have you seen her lately?
Yeah. I'll even talk about that because she's older and she's trying to hold on to relevancy and Botox and all that. So I'm not going to even mess with her there. I've never saw what the big deal about her was. Never a great body, in my opinion. If you like that type body type, good for you. But it just never did anything for me. So I could go on with a few, but we'll let you go on, Skinner. Anybody come to mind?
Could put me on the spot. Anybody that think they're here you go, Fish. All that in a bag of chips.
Okay, I tell you what. I'll let it. I'm gonna give you another one too. Yeah, she's beautiful, but Beyonce does nothing for me. Nothing.
I've got one, and it's Janet Jackson. I love her music.
Don't do nothing for me either. Yep.
I love her style, but you look at her and she just doesn't,
I don't know. Maybe she looks too much like Mike. I don't know. But it does nothing for me.
I wouldn't go there. I just don't know what it is with her. She's just not I think she's on that list for me.
Yeah, okay. I would have to agree with you on that one. Bitch, anybody come to mind?
I never quite got the appeal of Celine Dion. Just the whole, everything. I don't know.
Totally agree. Totally agree.
Talented, but I just
it
just didn't quite get the whole thing. Yeah.
And if I hear that damn theme song to that movie ever again, I'll probably shoot myself.
Now,
don't go there.
Wherever you are.
Because bad enough I wasted 3 hours of my life watching that movie at the theaters with Fisher and Coopers.
What is wrong with you?
Gosh, that freaking song, man. Ugh.
Poor Marcy. You ain't got no romance in you at all, do you?
No. I wasn't with Marcy when that one came out. That was the first wife.
That was the problem. You wanted to drown her.
Maybe that was it. I don't know.
He was hoping she'd go overboard.
That was a couple's date night. I remember going back then, and I could have shot myself after that movie was over.
Okay, all right, guys. Another one for me is Mariah Carey. Never did anything for me.
Especially now.
Yeah, exactly. But let's talk about some of the ones that and Taylor Swift, nothing at all either. But let's talk about some of the ones that I think are outstanding. I even though she dresses ridiculous, she's gotten a whole lot better. I just love Amy Lee from Evanescence. I just think she's
Love
just
her
absolutely
voice.
Yeah, I think she's pretty awesome too as well. I tell you another one too, man. She is made for television. I have never enjoyed the show American Idol as much as I am enjoying it right now. And she is an amazing dresser, her makeup art. But Katy Perry is just made for television, man. Shakira. Definitely.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. J-Lo.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'll tell you another one too. In every movie I've seen her in, she is just every video, she's just in real life, she looks so trashy. Christina Aguilera. In Burlesque, she was absolutely gorgeous. But in real life, she's just so trashy. How about Carrie Underwood?
Yeah. Beautiful, talented.
Yeah.
Jewel.
I've always liked Jewel.
Mm-hmm.
Jewel was always very, very cute. Thought she had a very sexy thing about her. Alanis Morissette.
Yeah.
Never did anything for me. Okay, this is gonna be interesting right here. Whitney Houston.
I always thought she was cute, but super talented though.
Yeah, I always thought she was cute, but just too skinny for me. I don't know. Yeah. She's okay.
Like the rock, like Nancy Wilson, the rockers too.
Yeah, now we're talking. Yeah. Nancy Wilson. And I just pulled up the 50 most beautiful women in rock, and number 1 is Madonna. Are you high? Well, that's this list. Guess who number 2 is? Celine Dion.
Oh boy.
Hey, how about Dolly Parton in her day, right?
Oh yeah, boy.
And she's just a lot of fun. I tell you who I didn't like back in the day, but right now, Toni Braxton. Have you seen her lately?
I don't think I have.
Oh my God! Well, worth looking up. Another interesting one, Britney Spears.
Sure,
she's nothing but trailer trash now, unfortunately.
Yeah, I've always thought she was cute. I always thought she had great legs, though. Lady Gaga, another interesting one.
Yeah, beautiful.
So there's a country singer that my dad said that she could sing the phone book, and he would listen to her. And her name is Jennifer Nettles. She's a country artist.
She's great.
From Sugarland. She did it.
Yeah, I love Jennifer Nettles
right now.
Yeah,
she's got a great voice, and she's pretty easy.
Well, we're not talking about voices. We're just talking about pure looks right now.
No, she's easy on the eyes. There ain't no question.
Yeah. How about Rihanna, Skinner?
When she was younger, absolutely.
Fish?
Yeah. Sure.
And I take that back. Taylor Swift is pretty cute.
She opens her mouth.
Selena Gomez, I think, is cute, but she looks like a child. J-Lo, I don't know what's wrong with you, Skinner. But we'll let that one slide. Miley Cyrus, Fish.
I mean, right now, I mean, she's definitely changed her style and stuff. I think, she's got a sexiness about her for sure.
Really, I think she's absolutely disgusting. Skinner.
She's got that mysterious vibe, I guess, is the best way to put it, which is attractive to a lot of people.
Yeah,
it'd be fun to hang out with.
She can keep that mystery. Okay. Okay, so
let's go back to our age group.
Thank you. I was just about to do that. You read my mind.
Lita Ford.
Yeah, it's the first name comes to mind for me too.
The Lita Ford video, Gotta Let Go. There is no hotter rock woman on the planet than in that video. The full leather bodysuit. I saw that and my mind just lost it. Absolutely. There is no question about it. Pat Benatar back in the day with the full jumpsuit. Oh my God, the boots and the haircut. She was absolutely amazing too as well.
Mm-hmm.
Who else we got?
Oh gosh, Belinda Carlisle.
Yeah,
The Go-Go's. Yeah. Even
most
of the some of the. Sorry.
Go ahead, buddy. How about Stevie Nicks?
Stevie Nicks. And her name escapes me now, but the lead singer of the Bangles.
Oh yeah. Duh, right there on my tip of my tongue too.
Still looks beautiful today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When she was young, of course, she played for the other team, but Joan Jett was just looked like
sure,
like she was a lot of fun to hang out with.
Samantha Fox.
Chrissy Hine.
Never liked Chrissy Hine. Never got into that. Yeah, no. Janis Joplin seemed to. Donna Summer, man, she was just wow. Yeah. Like Donna Summer back in the day. Linda Ronstadt, I thought was beautiful too.
Sure.
Of course, Karen Carpenter was Skin and Bones. Olivia Newton-John was the girl next door. Everybody thought, she was the ultimate girlfriend.
Here's a name for you.
Go ahead.
Grace Jones. That short blonde hair. Everybody.
Upon original, when you originally saw her, you were like, no way.
Yep.
But when you saw her in the Conan movie, there was just something about her. I was like, okay. Or the James Bond movie. Bond thought she was pretty hot,
Beautiful kill. Yep.
Yeah, I'm not going to dismiss Grace. But that's a good one right there. I didn't see that one coming. Those are a lot of our 70s. Of course, Deborah Harry was just like wow back then. Even Grace Slick was beautiful when she was younger.
Sure.
And she lasted a long time in the business. And when we got into the 80s, a lot of our female top stars were not in rock, but in pop. Taylor Dayne. I always thought she was great. And who did the song All Cried Out? Lisa and the Cult Jam. Lisa was gorgeous. Of course, Wendy and Lisa played in Prince's band. Thought they were gorgeous. How about Annie Lennox?
Yeah.
When she was young, I thought she was really cute when she was made up.
Another one I had a crush on was Patti Smythe.
Yeah, she was beautiful, and what a voice! What a voice! How about Tina, guys?
Tina was a good one. Yep,
definitely. Those legs alone were like, man, she was something else. So, so certainly not the same type of women today we had back then, but what is the same, and beauty is definitely still in the eye of the beholder. That's all I got for sports and music. Let's get some pop culture. Fish, take it away.
All right. I just reflecting on it. We're sitting here judging how pretty women are. Look at us. That's all right. That's fine.
Yeah, I know. That's why I feel funny about that. Like I'm not judging, but we're just talking about the world perception of beauty.
Yep.
Well, from a GenX perspective, though, I mean, you think about what we see and what we think is beautiful and sexy and attractive, and we go back to when we were young, to the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and then you look at these kids today. These kids today that are on the scene, we don't have any attraction for them whatsoever.
Yeah,
but there's people like Michael and Dean and Nick and the younger guys that are going to say that we're a bunch of old geezers. It's just funny how time evolves, I guess.
Yeah. And it would be interesting to talk about this subject too on a more local and personal level. The way women are, not all women, some today, what they think are attractive. I was just showing my sister some of the video. These women that are getting these butt implants, it is utterly ridiculous. I don't know what man is finding this stuff attractive. It is absolutely disgusting. Like you're smuggling 2 watermelons in your pants. They just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It doesn't look natural. you know, you're bouncing around like it's crazy. And there's new fad going around in Akron. I've seen more and more young girls that look like they're wearing panties. And I saw one in Walmart the other night. Cheeks hanging out every day. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me right now with this? So I don't know.
I don't know, man.
No self-respect.
My anaconda don't want none unless you got buns. That's right.
Yep.
That's
even
right.
Even white boys got to shout.
That should be a song. It's pretty catchy.
Yeah, real catchy.
Yep.
What are you doing, Dad?
Capturing the beauties of nature, son.
You can draw fabulous pictures. You can even play music. Rescue your family from boredom this Christmas with the Commodore Computer Compendium.
The Commodore 64 home computer has an unusually large memory. Remember? It also has all the peripherals you're ever likely to need. Monitors, plotters, printers, disk drives, and a vast range of software, which means you'll get so much more enjoyment out of your home computer. The Commodore 64. Remember the enormous memory, but don't forget the peripherals and software.
See, baby's got buns.
Something like that. We'll work on it. Okay, well, we do some Gen X recommendations. So have you guys seen or heard anything you wish to recommend to our listeners and viewers? Go ahead, Keith.
Oh my gosh, where have I been? Kiefer Sutherland is at it again. On Paramount, there's a show called The Rabbit Hole.
I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard great things.
Listen, the end of the first episode, I was standing there like with my mouth open, like, wait a minute, what just happened here? That outstanding. I have not finished it yet. Every episode has been a twist on a twist. Like, wait a minute. I thought. Just outstanding. So I highly recommend watch The Rabbit Hole on Paramount with Kiefer Sutherland. He is just a little quick review. He's a espionage spy, but he is a master at creating situations, whether it be in illusions or setting people up to influence corporate trading. And all of a sudden, he's accused for murder and is running for his life. And he's got to figure out who set him up. And there's some other stuff going on the side. But definitely, man, can't recommend it enough.
Okay, very good. Skinner?
I'm going to go with Metallica's 72 Seasons. If you've not heard it yet out there, folks, and if you're a Metallica or a heavy metal fan, definitely listen to it. I heard some friends from school, Bill Greathouse, I'm going to shout him out. He said it's better than Hardwire. If you like the new Metallica, Hardwire was a good album, but this one I think is much better, and I have to agree with them. I've listened to it from front to back, and it's for guys that are in their late 50s and early 60s, they still have it. That's all I can say.
All right.
I agree. Great album. Listen to it this weekend myself. A couple things. Last night with Dean and Nick and the lovely Megan and Allie joined us as well. We saw a 25th anniversary showing of The Big Lebowski in the theater last evening. That was a lot of fun. I don't recall seeing that on the big screen, but that was enjoyable.
Never seen it.
Strange. Yeah, you know, it's a strange, bizarre movie, but Jeff Bridges, one of his best roles. I mean, it really is.
I hear a lot of references to that character, and I've never seen the movie. I got to make a point to watch that.
Yeah, it's really good. And then from an acting perspective as well, it's some of John Goodman's finest work, literally.
Okay. Wow.
So good. Yeah, so good. But you got to be in the right frame of mind. It's strange, it's bizarre, but it's just a weird, unique sense of humor. You might like it. So,
it's one of those cult movies.
Yeah. Gotta pay attention to it, you know, but that was a lot of fun. I did finish Night Agent. I mentioned this series on Netflix about the FBI agent. Yeah, awesome. Very, very good.
Man, outstanding. I want to watch that again. It was so good.
Yeah, great series. I would not shock me if they have a second season of that using the same characters. Yeah. Saw an interesting movie on Netflix as well. Kill Boksoon, Boksoon.
Yeah, saw that.
Yeah, it's like a Korean movie. It's basically a mom who has a teenage daughter, and there's a lot of teenage angst and issues and single mom stuff. All that's there. And then mom goes to work, and she's a paid assassin. So it's kind of an interesting dynamic of keeping her job from her daughter, and the fighting is incredible and everything else. So a couple-hour movie, very interesting watch. Kill Boksoon, definitely would recommend that. And new series on Netflix that I'm just eating up right now. No pun intended, Beef. So this is like 10.
That worked 10 out good.
Yeah. So it's Stephen Yeun, who he's been in several things. He was definitely known for all these seasons on The Walking Dead. And then the other actress is Ali Wong. Basically, two people in different parts of life. One's affluent, one is not, and they have a road rage incident. They both kind of had it. They've had a bad day, and they kind of follow each other's lives, and then they wind up learning who each other are, and they start interacting, and it's a whole thing there. So definitely well acted, dark comedy. Interesting. Like I said, I'm just sucked into the storyline right now, so I'm going to continue to watch this until I finish it up here. So it's like the top, at least it was the top streaming series on Netflix recently.
Okay.
So go check out Beef. A lot of fun, very interesting stuff.
Okay, Fish, I want to reiterate one thing, and I've said it last week. I probably said it the week before that, but whoever wrote season 3 of Picard, I hope they get an Emmy. It has been that amazing. It's the kind of thing where all the things that you hope happen in a show, but usually don't, because you always get some kind of twist or something, it's happened in this show, to the point that, especially if you're a Trekkie, it'll bring you to tears. The slow reunion of every single member of the original cast. We thought there would be some guest appearances of some of the original cast. They have ended up, I hate to be a spoiler, brought back every single member of the original crew. Slowly but surely, each episode it grew. And even to the point where they're on the run, needed a ship. They found out Geordi had been restoring the Enterprise D in the museum for the last 20 years. And took them there. And here they all are back on the bridge of the original Enterprise D from the Next Generation series on a mission for their lives. And I mean, it was a kind of teary-eyed thing that was just done so beautiful. Data brought back to life. It's unbelievable, man. I can't say enough about it. It's been that extraordinary.
Very good. I'm going to predict the last word in an entire series. Engage.
Engage, yeah. That's what he said. The last episode I just watched. That's what he said.
Okay. I'll also add, you mentioned it, to season 3. So the Mandalorian season 3, a lot of fun on Disney Plus. So well done.
I'm enjoying it, but it's getting a lot of flack. And the media, people are saying that the writing's gone down or whatever, but I'm really fairly enjoying it, man. Just to see all the Mandalorians come together, and I think it's been outstanding. I've loved it.
Last week's episode, a lot of drama.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
How about that Praetorian Guard? Ain't nothing to mess with, man.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Okay, we did have a death in the world of pop culture. Mad Magazine's former artist Al Jaffe. He was 102 years of age. Bless his heart. He was a staple in that magazine for many, many years. So, gosh, all the way back into the 60s, I think he was. Let's see here. Jaffe divides a picture. Yeah, so just many, many years. So he was known for, they had an ongoing bit in Mad Magazine, snappy answers to stupid questions. So that was, Al Jaffe's, one of his most known art in the magazine. They had spin-off books of this collaboration or collections, not collaborations, but collections. I have some of these as I picked up as a kid. I was a pretty avid reader of Mad Magazine and Crack Magazine as a child. I still have a bunch of them to this day from the 70s and the early 80s. So Just a couple things. I don't know if you remember Al Jaffe or not, and just in general, were you a Mad Magazine reader, and were there other artists that come to mind, or ongoing, just ongoing features of Mad Magazine in general that you would have mentioned here? So, Keith, first of all, are you familiar with Al Jaffe or his segment, Snappy Answers, Stupid Questions? Anything you want to add?
The name rings a bell. The segment, definitely. When I was a kid, money didn't come by very often, but when it did, I looked up for every opportunity to get me the latest Mad Magazine. It was my entertainment to go in my room and sit up under a lamp on my bed and then just crack up. It was funny. There was a little bit of naughtiness to it, and some of the stories and illustrations. So I felt like I was, something naughty, the over-exaggeration of some of the women's. And I absolutely love me some crack and some Mad Magazine. I thought you had to be kind of an intelligent kid to get some of the humor.
Yeah.
I felt like I was part of something unique. I would show stuff to other people, and they were just like, I don't get it, You even had to be on top of pop culture. And that's saying something without all the internet stuff that we had, but some of the humor was related to current issues of pop culture, and I thought it was just done brilliantly. Some of the cracks, they said some of the things that people thought but were afraid to say. They highlighted some of the wait a minute, that is stupid, I just absolutely loved it. Spy versus Spy, all these different things, and they always picked a movie to do their own version of and kind of change the dialogue a little bit. To something maybe you wish they had us say it. I just absolutely love Mad Magazine and all the special, snappy answers to stupid questions and all the little segments. Definitely.
Very good. Skinner, any thoughts on Al Jaffe or Mad Magazine or anything?
Don't forget, and I love the fold the page thing at the back where you fold the pages right to make it big. Love that part.
Yeah, very clever.
Know the name, know the magazine, but that wasn't something that I was into when we were younger.
Well, like I said, you had to be kind of an intelligent kid to watch.
Yeah. So, I was the Star Wars kid, and I was, the comic book kid, but for some reason I didn't get into that. But I know when we were cleaning out Mama Didi's house a couple years ago, I ran into that book. I think I'd given it to you, Fish. Did you have a chance to go over that? Anything
a little
good
bit
in there?
Absolutely.
It was a hard copy book for Mad Magazine that we found from her late husband, and first person I thought of was Fish when I saw it. So.
Yeah, I'm actually behind me here. We've mentioned this before on the show, but is the original Mad Magazine game here. So
wow.
A lot of great artwork on the game board here, panels from the magazine throughout the years. That was one thing, and you brought up some good points there, Keith. As a kid, it was adult. It was an adult magazine. It was adult humor, and our parents let us read that and collect it, not really probably understanding what was all in it. So it was like an early exposure to almost like to the internet in some respects.
Yeah,
like you say, you had the pop culture references, like you say, and you had some racy things in it.
And there were some
crazy.
Words, there was words that I never actually knew. I inferred a little bit, but I didn't really know what they meant until I got older. Like camp. They use camp a lot. This is camp, that is camp. Like, what do you mean by that? So it was a lot of things I learned from that I probably shouldn't have learned at a young age, but it was on the line there.
Absolutely. I remember even in grade school, I had me an Alfred E. Newman shirt, What Me Worry and stuff. I just thought that was so cool. Yeah.
One of the great characters of all time.
Absolutely. Well, rest in peace, Al Jaffe. Just the humor is one thing, and that's fine. But if the artwork to support the humor really took both those magazines, Mad and Crack, to a new level. And anytime I look at one of those panels of some of the artwork there, it just takes you back to those good times as a kid.
Yes,
enjoying those magazines and just my own personal time and all that type of stuff. So
I would hold on to money like a miser when I was a kid, but that was one thing I didn't mind spending my $1.79 or whatever for. Give me a Mad Magazine.
my parents would take me to the grocery store, and one thing they would let me do, they would shop every Friday. I looked forward to this every Friday to go to the grocery store because I could hang out by the magazine rack and read
that was
Mad
me
and
too.
Crack magazine while they shopped, and then usually I was able to pick out a magazine at the end of the shopping trip as well to take home.
Yeah, same story here. I love going. I went to the A&P with my mom. Couldn't wait to get to the magazine rack. Yeah.
Yep. Very good. Okay. Another story here, guys. With a lot of crazy social media stories out there. So Anheuser-Busch had a recent advertising campaign with a transgender influencer, and it just blew up on social media. So a lot of people are against this campaign. There was special cans apparently to support this advertising campaign. I didn't really know a whole lot about it. Maybe you guys do, but it just really blew up, and a lot of people were, bad mouthing Bud Light, and there's all kinds of crazy memes and videos and all kinds of things out there for this. So, it's a 26-year-old TikTok star who they partnered with. So Bud Light is saying, of course, hey, this wasn't meant to divide anybody. But they, just, again, definitely created a lot of negative publicity and also some positive. Certainly there's a lot of people that are supportive of the campaign and inclusion and all this and that and the other. So for me personally, I'm like, it's crappy beer before and after the advertising
beer
campaign.
Was better.
I just don't get it.
If the beer was better, I have an opinion, but
I was not drinking Bud Light prior to this, and I'm not drinking it now because I've moved on and drinking a better quality beer. And Anheuser-Busch isn't even an American company anymore. A lot of people don't even realize that. They're not even owned by, they're owned by some company that owns them and some others that are overseas.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's just a whole crazy thing here. So Skinner, what are your thoughts on do you have any thoughts on the Anheuser-Busch advertising campaign here?
Well, they say they didn't mean to divide, but that's exactly what they did with this campaign. And the timing couldn't be any worse. If you recall, and I can't remember what state it was in, that transgender person went into that school and lit it up. I think was that in Texas? A few weeks ago. I can't remember what state it was in, but that's irrelevant.
You're right. Yeah.
They promoted and they pushed this agenda out shortly, within a week of this happening. And that's what I think pissed a lot of people off. Now, what people, and I've said this before, and we've all talked about this before, what you do behind closed doors is your business. You're not going to slam it down my throat, whether it's in the media, whether it's in advertising. I don't want to see it. If you got a product that you want to sell and you're going to alienate a certain spectrum of people, you better be ready for it. And from my understanding, Anheuser-Busch has lost billions of dollars over the last couple months in sales already because of what they've done. Now, again, what everybody does, that's on them. But this was a bad timing and a wrong time to be pushing this agenda after what happened in that school. That's all I got to say about that.
Okay. Keith?
Okay, I need to get some understanding here. When they say trans influencer, what are they trying to say here?
Let's see here. So it's a trans influencer, Dylan Mulvaney.
It's a dude that dresses like a girl.
Yeah, so sponsored a post this month on Mulvaney's Instagram account that promoted Bud Light's March Madness contest.
Okay. All right. So, yeah. Well, I'm going to say this, and I obviously could care less about Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light, or whatever. I think this commercial, this ad is playing to the political left, the pressures. I think what you do with your company, your ads, is your business. People don't like it, don't watch it, don't buy it. me personally, I don't. If you're trying to bring people together, then you should probably leave controversial stuff out of your ads. That's my opinion. I don't think how that's going to help bring people together. But basically, I guess I can care less. It's your company. You can do what you want to do. Now, if it was something that, and I want to be fair, if it's something that maybe I cared about, or I thought something that was maybe supposed to be directed at children or family oriented or whatever, I'd probably have more of an opinion. For a beer ad commercial, I don't know, man. I mean, geez, is that where people are going to dig their heels in the ground for? I mean, there's a whole lot worse going on, than that. I'm more upset over the fact that I decided to watch Buzz Lightyear, and you put that in a children's cartoon movie. There was a gay couple in there, and I thought that was really not the appropriate place to put that. That bothers me more than this beer commercial. So, whatever.
Yeah, I'm certainly for LGBTQ rights and all of that stuff. I mean, you're right. I mean, if you have any type of subject matter that causes quite the opinion one way or the other, and you rally around that and you're advertising, you're right. You're going to have a lot of people that's going to be for it. You have a lot of people that's going to be against it. And you're right. You sort of have to live with the fallout there, I suppose. So I don't know. Like I said, at the end of the day, it's just beer. It always interests me that
crappy beer.
Yeah, the time that people have to comment on things. It just
that's what I'm saying. This where you're going to put your stake in the ground and start a war? Really?
Yeah, there's plenty of other things that should get people outraged that are for equal rights and that type of thing.
Yeah,
spend your time promoting that and focusing on that and getting that word out there versus negativity. I don't know. That's just anyway. Go ahead, Keith. You want to say something else?
Yeah, I was going to say, I just want to be up front. I am like Skinner. I am tired of the onslaught of this movement bombarding everybody. I love everybody. I'm for everybody. I think this is a very unique subject. This is a very touchy subject. I just don't think it's something that should be as out there as it is right now, for the sake of one reason only, and that's children. I think when children grow up and then get to understand all this other stuff and make an adult decision for their own, that's a different thing. But to have browbeat people and children over the head with this, because of my own personal feelings about it, I'll make that very well known, my Christian views and all that other stuff, I think that part of it is wrong. But I also feel very, very, very strongly that we can't hate people. We can't hate one another, man. We got to show each other love no matter who or what you are or whatever you believe in. We got to show each other love because you can't sit there and say, you love people or you love God or whatever, and then you hate somebody because they're doing something you don't believe in. That's not love. So it's a very, 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 very tricky subject, man. But the bottom line is, let's just love one another. Let's start with that first.
That's right. Well said. And drink Bud Light while you're at it.
No, don't do that.
Yeah. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. Yeah,
it does. Yeah, it does. You drink enough of them. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true.
Have you ever heard of the porcelain god?
Oh, yeah. Yep. I'm sure I visited that after drinking Bud Light and Busch Light or something back in the day.
Yeah.
Okay. On a lighter subject, the Saturday Night Live last couple of weeks, again, some people, I still think it's hit and miss, just like anything, I guess. Last couple of weeks have been pretty good. Last week was not this past Saturday, the Saturday prior. Molly Shannon was on there very funny episode. And this past week, one of the skits getting a lot of buzz out. Go check this out on YouTube. I'm sure it's there. Kenan Thompson came on and played the role of Funky Kong, which is like it's like a real character in the Mario universe. It's kind of like an urban type, Donkey Kong type character or something like that. Because he really, a lot of people were hoping he was going to have a more prominent appearance in the Super Mario movie, which he really did not at all. But that's the whole bit, is he comes on the news segment and talks about how he was cut from the movie, and he read some of the lines and all that. Just very funny. Kenan Thompson's hilarious anyway, but
he's
very
great.
funny skit. So if you've not seen this, go check out the Funky Kong SNL or something like that. I'm sure you can find it very easily. Yeah, definitely watch after the episode here. You get a lot of laughs. I think a couple of things worth mentioning here. Jeremy Renner has been making some public appearances again after his very terrible accident, a snowplow accident over the winter. He has a new series on Disney Plus, Renovations, where he repurposes machinery and different things. So it's kind of good to see him on the talk show circuit. He's definitely still recovering. He said he's in a lot of pain, but he's back out there and stuff. So just kind of he described this situation. It was he definitely was lucky to live through that. So.
Well, we did a recommendation last week. The Barbara Walters, or not Barbara Walters, the Diane Sawyer's interview on 2020.
That's right.
It goes into detail what happened with that accident, and he's lucky to be alive.
Wow.
And the fact that he's up and walking and back out there in the line, it's an incredible
there
story.
was reports of having his leg amputated. So it's absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, I mean, he had 50 some bones that were crushed. They go into detail, and it's certainly, if you haven't seen it yet, definitely go and watch that. Barbara Walters. It's on Disney Plus. You can find the interview on there.
Not Barbara Walters. She's Diane Sawyer.
Again, Diane Sawyer. I'm sorry. I keep saying Barbara Walters, but it's Diane Sawyer in 2020.
He attributes while he was recovering, by the way.
This week on Dorothy Fulheim.
That's right. That's right. It's a double interview. Barbara Walters and Walter Cronkite.
Yes. There you go. Showing my age again. I get it.
Yep. No, but he credits while he was recovering. They played music for him, and he over and over again told the wet sprocket. Do you believe that?
A little Kaja
That's right. And we wish Jamie Foxx well. Something happened. They're categorizing this as some type of medical emergency. The family, I haven't seen the details yet. Maybe it's out there. I haven't seen it yet. But something happened where it's pretty serious, and he was hospitalized immediately, and he had family coming in. But his family did say that he is communicating and responsive and this and that. So don't know exactly what happened, but we certainly wish Jamie Foxx the very best. He's like our age, guy. I didn't realize that. He's 55 years old, so he's right around our age.
Yeah, somebody who definitely grew up watching his progression. It's been amazing.
Yes, absolutely. Quite the talent. There's a new streaming service, gentlemen. Like, we need another one, another paid streaming service. So
there's definitely not enough.
I know. So Warner Brothers is going to retool HBO Max and call it Max. I think they're going to blend it with Discovery. So it's Warner Brothers Discovery. So it's going to have 3 different tiers. You have the $9.99 per month with commercials. Then you have a $15.99 per month without ads. And then a new one for $19.99, which is Max Ultimate ad free. So I don't know how you could have no ads and then Ultimate no ads. I don't quite get that.
And for $25.99, you get no shows even.
I think it's just I don't think the Ultimate is ad free. I think it's just ad free, but it's 4K resolution and 100 offline downloads and so forth. So I'm not quite sure how everything's going to lay out quite yet. But like they're mentioning, like the Penguin series, the Batman villain Penguin with Colin Farrell, that's going to be on there and stuff. So I don't know how it changes up HBO Max. I get a free subscription to HBO Max through my AT&T mobile service. So hopefully that will continue. I don't know. So any thoughts on the Max streaming service, Keith? Have you heard much about this? Are you at all interested, or go ahead?
Well, this is news to me, and of course I can't say that I'm not interested, because obviously it's going to be about what content is available. And you know, I'm split down the middle. I appreciate the time that we're living in now, where everything is available right there. You know, my sister and I will talk about, hey, remember this show or remember that movie? We'll hit Google it and then hit watch. What is it on? What streaming service has it? You know, I don't care how old it is or whatever. And and it always marvels me to live in that age right now where pull it up. You know, we were coming up with shows from the 70s that we used to love. And I love and I appreciate that. But I don't like the fact that we're being manipulated and taken advantage of. You know, they're nickel and diming us to death with all these services. And now you'll pay for one, and now they're removing all the great stuff and moving it to another one that costs a few dollars more and all. I don't appreciate all that stuff. So there's got to be a limit. This is kind of getting out of hand a little bit. I mean, gee whiz. You should be able to see anything you want to see right now between the free services, Pluto, Crackle. You know, there's a couple other ones, and now you got, and was it True TV, and now
you Freeview. Go ahead.
But now you've got Paramount, Netflix, HBO Max, Disney Channel, Peacock. You know, it's ridiculous, man. And I have all those, and it's like some I don't Hulu. You know.
Yep.
And some of them I hardly watch.
You cut the quote unquote cable, and then you're spending about as much money on the cable if you're not careful with all these streaming services, if not more. So
better be careful, right?
Yep. Skinner, your thoughts on Max, a new streaming service, and all that stuff?
Well, I'm with Keith. I hope they don't take stuff off of the one we've been watching for a while and move it to the other one. We don't have access to it anymore. So yeah, to be curious to see what comes about, because I'm like you, with the AT&T service we get free HBO Max, which we watch all the time. I mean, that's one of the, I probably watch that more than I do Netflix nowadays. But so yeah, it'd be interesting. But I'm not surprised that things are starting to come together. You know, Disney with Hulu and ESPN Plus, they all bundled themselves together, and I'm just surprised that it's taken this long for others to do the same.
I think all of them have a bundle with somebody. If I'm not mistaken. You know, they're all bundled with one of the major cable networks.
That's the wave. And then they can stick ads on you as well, unless you pay more without the ads. You know? So crazy. So it's all kind of all coming around. You record stuff, fast forward the commercials. Now it's like, nope, you can't fast forward the commercials anymore. You're gonna have to sit through them or pay extra to get to bypass and everything else. Crazy. Yep. Okay, this week in pop culture history here, guys. So we are shooting this on Monday, April the 17th, all the way back in 1983. Today, the Disney Channel debuted. 1983, 40 years ago. Get your head around that for a second there. 1983 was 40 years ago. Actually, by the way, the Return of the Jedi 40th anniversary is coming out here too. I mentioned that, so it was a new pay. Let's see, it was a new pay TV network, the Disney Channel. So, very first show to air was Good Morning Mickey back then. And then now, obviously, it's sort of, I don't know, obviously, there's Disney streaming services there, Disney Plus. I think the Disney Channel still exists on cable, right? I believe so.
I don't know. You would imagine. And now that you mentioned it with some of the shows, it has been around for a while. It's just been the evolution of it to a streaming service has been very, very unique. And even the shows you just mentioned, they're not on the streaming service at all, hardly. You know, they're very exclusive to Miramax, Star Wars, Marvel, so on and so on.
National Geographic's on there. There's a bunch of stuff there. So, never paid for the Disney Channel back then. It was never in my house because that was beyond. By then we were in high school, Keith. So that was really getting beyond us there. So Skinner, did you have the Disney Channel growing up?
Not growing up, no, but we did have it for the kids when they were younger. So, yeah, as a kid ourselves, no, it was. We knew about it, but no, that was not something my parents paid for.
Okay. It says here that as of 2020, it was available to 88 million households in the U.S. How about that?
Wow.
Yep. 1979 today, guys, Real People premiere. That was on NBC. And it was like a variety show. You guys might remember where they were interviewing. That's what it was. Just people doing interesting things. They had real talent. They had interesting jobs or whatever the heck it was.
It was like a Poor Man, That's Incredible.
Yeah, that's right. It was the competing. I think Real People may come out first, and That's Incredible shortly thereafter. I loved both of those shows. That was a good family night television. So I remember sitting around and getting the popcorn and the snacks ready with my parents, and it was time for Real People. I just thought it was very well done, and it was just interesting. Again, this is obviously well before the days of the internet, and it was a way to expose yourself to that's what it was, real people doing interesting things that you never probably would have heard about in normal social media or media at the time. So, Keith, what do you think about Real People in those shows?
I couldn't wait for that show to come on, to watch Skip and some of the rest of the crew. Was it Byron Davis was his name on there, I think? But anyway,
Byron Allen.
Byron Allen, that's right, Byron Allen.
John Barber, Sarah Purcell, Byron Allen, Skip Stevenson, Bill Rafferty, Mark Russell, Peter Billingsley, David Ruprecht, and Fred Willard.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I love the show. Like you said, it was a peek into the rest of the country. People doing stuff you never thought about or couldn't even imagine. And that was totally fascinating now. And in pre-show, you have brought this up, and I wanted you to bring it up. That and specifically, even more, That's Incredible. I was just watching some videos the other day, and I was like, I made a post on my Facebook. I was like, if That's Incredible was on today, these are the people that would be on there.
Yeah.
People doing unbelievable stuff nowadays. Some of the Asian workers and the factories, the stuff that they do at the speed they do it. A girl shooting a bow and arrow with her feet upside down. I saw a dog mowing the lawn today in a riding mower. Are you serious with this right now? Just some fascinating stuff, man. Some of these, parkour has gone to a level now that is like, are you serious? These people are like real life superheroes. Some of the stuff that they can do with the human body. So yeah, I loved all those shows, man. Just absolutely fascinating to me as a kid.
Very good. Skinner, were you a fan of Real People or That's Incredible or both?
That was the modern day going viral.
Yeah.
For us.
Sure.
Yeah, that's how you went viral back then. That's before the internet and all that, like you said. No, that was a fun show. I mean, like you said, people do incredible things, and that was the way to showcase their talents. And it's something it's something you watch, you look forward to every single week. I did not realize, but you said David Ruprecht was part of that cast. That I got to know him on the television show, game show called Supermarket Sweep, the original one.
Oh yeah,
that played in the late '90s, the '90s and early 2000s. But I forgot that he was part of that television show. So that's interesting.
Yep.
And Byron Allen is, he's an unsung individual. He's had his hand in so many things and for so many years. There's a show that's on, like, I don't even remember what it is, but it's 6 celebrities sit back, and it's a game show. A bunch of comedians answer questions, and the 2 contestants are supposed to answer if they're truth or not. And it's just a weekly turnaround of comedians that are on it. But Byron Allen is the producer and creator of that show. He's done so many great things
in the comedic world a lot.
Yeah, he's done so many things. He's one of those unsung or unheard of people, but I really enjoy all of his work.
Yeah, very good. He had a talk show for a while too. I remember.
Yes.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, Byron Allen's show. Yep.
I can't remember that one. Okay.
Yeah, very good. And then in 2008, here, guys, on April the 20th, a first woman won an Indy race. So Danica Patrick, a lot of people know the name, even if you're sort of a fringe racing fan. She was 26-year-old at the time, and she won the Indy Japan 300. Again, back in 2008. So pretty fascinating stuff here. Now, obviously, you know, car racing is one of the few sports where, you know, men and women can compete at the same level, you know, and it's just, you know, you have equal, you know, there's no gender conversation and this and that and the other, you know, it's obvious. It's just humans using their driving skill to compete.
And the best machine.
So, yes, absolutely. So is this one of the most significant accomplishments by a woman athlete ever? Or what are your thoughts on this, Keith?
Without question. Without question. I was so happy she won. This is one of the most important wins, not just for her and not just for women, but in general. And I'm going to tell you why. I felt really bad for Danica Patrick. She came on the scene. Danica Patrick did not make it to the majors just by accident. Okay, she didn't just get put there by accident, political reasons, whatever. She could drive. Can Danica Patrick help it? She's good looking. It's not her fault. And do not fault her for capitalizing on that. Men do it. Nobody says a word, okay? Nobody says the word about Tom Brady in GQ magazine. So the flack that she got for capitalizing on her looks to make money, as well as the fact that she was a serious driver, you can't blame her for that. But she got a lot of backlash, a lot of jealousy, and I just thought it was so important for her to win. I wanted her to win so strong to say, listen, all stuff aside, I'm a driver first, you know, and I'm a high caliber driver. So I think that win was so significant and very important, and I was really happy for her. I really was.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Skinner, what do you think?
I can't really add much more than what Keith said. That was a very influential win for all of sports. You know, you think about another sport, the sport of golf. Michelle Wie was an up-and-coming female that could drive a ball almost as far as a man could in her teenage years. Well, it didn't pan out very well for her, unfortunately, but she competed in men's tournaments, and I was hoping that she would do like a top 5 or even win a tournament just to do the same or to accomplish what Danica Patrick did. I think, Keith, that's a great point, is she can't help that she's a beautiful woman on top of that. And, you know, she used her looks and her abilities to her fullest, and I don't blame her one bit for doing that.
There's a very thin line going on when it comes to looks versus ability. Of course, I think we're all fans of The Big Bang Theory. You guys were making fun of me watching when we started the show. I ain't gonna say one of my favorite episodes, but I got too many of them. But one episode I recall was when I can't think of Wallace's wife.
Bernadette
was selected to do a centerfold for a magazine. You know, not a new one or anything. Oh, she was going to be highlighted in a magazine. And Penny was all happy for her, but Amy Fairfather just lost it because she thought it would set women scientists back. And she was like, well, women have hard enough time being taken serious for their brains, and you want to do that. And of course, it begged the question, does that set women back and the seriousness of them, or is it fair play that you can be recognized for your beauty as well as your contributions? And I just think it's really stupid to think that things like that will set people back. If you're good, you're good. And as long as you're given the same fair opportunity to compete, if you can make money off your looks, whatever, man. If the men do it, it's good enough for the men, then it's good enough for the women. So, hey, we are creatures of beauty. Let's not act stupid. Beauty is within. Really? I ain't never looked at nobody's guts and went, wow, she's gorgeous. You know, I'm sorry. We know what looks beautiful to us, okay? Nothing wrong with recognizing beauty. We shouldn't only recognize beauty. We should definitely look at people's contributions, all those things first. But let's not act stupid and act like we don't see that this person is gorgeous. And I like looking at beautiful things. I like looking at beautiful women. I like looking at beautiful houses. I like looking at beautiful cars. So, hey, good for Danica.
Absolutely. I can't add much more other than, you know, especially with having a daughter, and obviously Skinner has several daughters, and, you know, Keith, we all had daughters and stepdaughters in our lives, certainly. So, yeah, I think it's, it's great that a woman could kind of break these barriers and show and be an influence on other young girls that you could do this too. You can do this too, you know. So, good stuff. Excellent. I think that's the best story to go out on here, guys. I think it brings us to an end to episode 105, gentlemen. So, Keith, any announcements here before we start wrapping up here, sir?
Yeah, well, actually, it'll be a little bit too late, but this Friday, I will be with BPM at Lou's out on Lincoln Way between Maslin and Canton. Look forward to being at a great night. But don't forget, May 21st is the big show with Rock Generation at Stinger Harley Davidson out in Medina. Can't even express how hard we are working. I have never been in a band where every rehearsal we have played the entire set. We have done shows every single rehearsal because we've played every song. Not just working on this or working on that. We have played the entire repertoire. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of playing. But we're working hard to be the best we can be. Working on a light show. Working on all the little things that go into it. So mark your calendars for that. We'll be at Stinger Harley Davidson in Medina, May 21st.
Very good. And reminder, you can find me on the Convincing Idiots podcast, our brother podcast with Dean and Nick that I mentioned before at the beginning of the show. So check us out there for pop culture fun, also where you listen to podcasts, and our YouTube channel at Convincing Idiots, also on the Boss Code Media TV network. Skinner, any announcements before we wrap up 105, sir?
I can officially announce that yours truly, as you two are aware, will be getting married next month.
Yes.
We had originally scheduled a wedding for June of 24, but due to circumstances with her mom's health, she came to me a few weeks ago and said, Mike, can we do this sooner? And I said, absolutely. We'll figure out how to make it happen. So proud to say this weekend we've cleared up most of the loose ends. We do have a date of May 13th at the venue. And I'm excited and scared and the whole gamut. But in my heart, knowing that she's been the right one the whole time. So I'm excited. We got our wedding bands this past weekend. And talking about Miss Marcy's, I want to wish her an early birthday. She turns 40-something here on Wednesday, the 19th. So we will not have a show before then. So be listening to this, so it'll be a happy belated birthday at that point. But yep, love her dearly, and I can't wait for May 13th to call her my wife.
All right. Well, my niece Joy, her birthday is Wednesday as well, and I want to say happy birthday to her. Very proud of her, the young lady she's become, the mother she has become, and the closest that we've developed over the last few years. But I want to say something to Miss Marcy. I'll never forget seeing you. I think the first time was at high school football game. I was there for my son Steele, obviously. And of course, you know, your younger kids or whatever ran up to me and were hugging me and called me Uncle Keith. And I just never forget her looking at me like, who the heck is this? And she would hardly speak to me. And as time went on and your relationship grew with her, and then she got to know me, we have just developed a very, very special friendship. And I love her dearly. And brother, let go of all the fear, because she is the right one for you. You have found a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful gem. And a happy birthday to you, Marcy. Love you very much.
Absolutely. Well said. Happy birthday. And then Skinner's getting the whole ceremony. I know he's working with you, Keith, on how this is going to go. Something like, we welcome Marcy and family, and to the Skinner family. Welcome back, everybody.
Yep.
Welcome back. Yeah, that's funny, but a lot of important things. We've got family coming from out of town, so the fact that we're able to make this happen so quickly, it's going to be a special day. But yeah, I'm sure there's going to be a joke in there, especially with I've asked Coach Cooper.
You already know.
I've asked Coach Cooper to do the best man toast, even though we're not having a wedding party.
Oh, there's your first mistake.
I thought to myself, what are you doing?
First mistake.
I know he's gonna do it well, and there'll be a joke or two in there.
Oh boy,
very good.
Yeah,
so yeah, fellas, great show. Some heavy topics today, some fun topics. As always, fans, we appreciate you. So for Brian Fisher and Keith Porter, I am Michael Skinner. We are the guys of GenX. We appreciate you, and we will talk to you next week. Have a great week, all.
It was a humdinger.
It was all that and a bag of chips.
Take a drink. Hey, Fish here from ItCameFromGenX with Skinner and Keith. For every like and subscribe, you may win a free 1-year subscription to the AARP.